Hey guys, I am DM Zone. This is Gamers Oasis. Let's get into this. Alright, so in this video, we're going to talk about the spell Web. To my knowledge, it's the only spell that came out technically before the spell itself came out. See, the spell came out in Supplement 1 Greyhawk, which came out in 1975. The three core rule books came out in 1974, and as you can see on the graphic here. This spell literally refers back to Book 2, talking about monsters and treasures as the source for where you get the information for this spell. It's a little bit odd just in that nature, but it gets weirder. Literally, it says that it lasts for 8 game hours, has a range of up to 30 feet or 3 inches on the sand table. So you're using a giant for the baseline for units of measurement for like how long it takes to break through something. But as you can see here, we can't just ignore the fact that it literally says 8 hours of gameplay. Now, what does that mean? To me, I know what that means based upon other things I've seen in the game and the fact that this was a persistent game. I think it's literally talking about 8 hours butts in seat playing at the table. Not 8 hours of real time, you go home next week, it's gone. Like 8 hours at the table, this is a thing that you have to deal with. Which then leads me down why they didn't do different things. Now let's go ahead and look at the giant side, because you just can't bypass that either. If you're going to use giants as a baseline, then you have to have used giants in the past. And we have examples of this. When it's talking about busting down a door, it says that it would take a person, basically, 10 rounds of combat to chop their way through a door with a weapon. Now, they compared that to a giant. They say it would take half the movement of a giant. It's saying that this spell is going to take 40 turns for a person with a weapon to get through it. That's 400 rounds of attacks. Or that is literally 40 rounds of attacks by 10-minute arms. Has a weakness to fire. And I think that makes a lot of sense. And I think it's a great bypass to be able to get around this type of thing. I'm confused though, and maybe this is my modern eye looking at this different with all the years of experience and seeing other terms and words used. But I don't know why they just didn't call it impassable. That would have been a lot cleaner, a lot easier way to word it, saying that anyone that entered it would have to make a save throw, that they would continue to have to make a save throw, and maybe it took 10 rounds to be able to make your way through it, essentially making it so no one would do that. I think that'd be fine. I think that the idea of 10 men spending 40 rounds going through potentially 2 combats with wandering monsters is kind of ridiculous when they could just take a torch and light it on fire and go. Now, maybe there's something in there you can't get away from. And then I could see justifying that 40 attack thing. Then that would justify only doing 400 attacks to get that thing out. However, that should be proportional and probably done by the referee, not necessarily trying to meet that in a paragraph or less in a rule book. I also would treat it as something that is conjured. The source of the spell, whether it comes from the hands or maybe there's some sort of illusionary beast that comes and then sprays the area with the web, I think is fine. Whatever you want to do with that, but leave the web there, make it permanent. Don't actually put an 8-hour window. Make it so when you walk into a dungeon that no one has been in for a long time, there's a hallway, and this hallway has been filled with web. Now, you can bypass this hallway knowing nothing's going to get through that hallway, or you can go ahead and light it on fire. The magic user says this is done by a web spell, so whatever this is has not been disturbed since that spell's been put up. Now, that might be a true statement, or there could be something back there that has been trapped back there on purpose because maybe it's too dangerous to deal with, or maybe there's something hiding back there that doesn't want to be seen, potentially some sort of cult activity or whatever, or maybe there's some sort of beast back there that's incredibly hungry because it has nothing to eat since the spell's been basically cast. Maybe it's dead. Maybe you go back there and it's just nothing but rooms of skeletons and unguarded loot. Who knows? Maybe there's butterflies and rainbows too. But that's your world. You have to figure out what you're doing in it. Let me know. Did I get this one right? Did I get this one wrong? Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Thank you. Have a good day and keep rolling those dice. Bye.